Hi Coyotes, so today in language we're going to start with the great story of the alphabet, okay? So today I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to use words to speak with you. Well, talking with each other is something important that people do. My teacher spoke to me just as I speak to you. In fact, we all speak with each other. So we can imagine that it is true that people have always communicated with each other. Well, why? Well, people care for each other. One very important message was to tell each other what was good to eat and what was not. So nobody knows what gestures or words were spoken, but you would know and can imagine that people a long time ago did something similar. When something was good, they would go, but if something was bad, they might go, ugh. So the result is that people over a very long time have developed this spoken language, which was a way to speak with each other about many things. A spoken language is very useful, and we continue to use it today. However, sometimes people wanted to tell each other something, but they were not in the same place. So what did people do to give these messages when they couldn't speak to each other? Well, that's the story I want to tell you. And it's the story of how people communicated with each other and when they could not speak to each other. So this is the story of the alphabet. So you know that people use the letters of the alphabet to write messages or stories. And you also use the alphabet to write messages and stories. So imagine a time when someone realized that they wanted to tell something, but the other person was not there to speak to. Maybe someone found something good to eat, maybe a fish in a pond. And this person thought, well, how can I tell others what I have found? This person may not have solved the problem, but some person somewhere did. Someone we don't know who they are, why they did it, or when they did it. But they decided to take a picture. And the picture said what might otherwise have been said in words to another person nearby. So once someone began to draw these pictures, other people began to draw the pictures. And people probably agreed on the meaning of a picture. So perhaps they agreed that they would draw a picture of the kind of animal that passed by. Maybe the picture was a marker and left a message for others.
Well, this worked very well. Pictures were made out of what was important and what they wanted others to know or to remember. We know this because some of their pictures, drawn 20,000 years ago, have been found painted on the walls of caves. Here is one of the pictures found in a cave. Perhaps a hunter wanted to record that 10 animals had been harvested for food. Well, people today still draw pictures. But pictures are not the alphabet. The story continues several thousand years ago. A people called the Sumerians lived in the Middle East and made simplified pictures in clay. These drawings are not full pictures, so they are called pictographs. You might recognize a duck, a fish, the head of an ox, and a stalk of wheat. Well, time went on, and around 5,000 years ago, a people called the Egyptians lived in northern Africa on the banks of the Nile River. They made lots of pictures, some carved in stone, some painted on stone, and some painted on paper from the papyrus reeds that grew near the river. They either painted pictures on this paper with a brush or used a pen to write their picture messages. Well, as you might imagine, sometimes people got confused by pictures. This was especially true when people started using the same picture for different meanings, just as Egyptians did. So, for example, a picture of a leg could mean an object, which was the actual leg, or an idea that meant to run, or the sound made by the human, meaning to move quickly. So the Egyptians began to use different types of pictures to express different meanings. Let's take a look at these drawings. So this first drawing is a picture of an eagle, and it meant eagle. The second drawing is a picture of an eagle with a human face, and it meant his soul. The third drawing is a picture of an eagle and was used to represent the sound made by the human voice. Well, this fourth drawing is a symbol that resembled the shape of the eagle's sound and was used to represent the same sound made by the human voice. So the difference is that it took less time to draw. Well, the Egyptians had the idea of the alphabet, but they continued to use all the drawings. Perhaps they were pleased by the beauty of the picture or writing, or just didn't have reason to stop using pictures. So that's all I have for today. This was part 1, and you'll get part 2 next week. Okay? Bye, coyotes!